Hello and welcome along to another episode of Robin and Jane in the Stalls. It's a special one this week because it's that time of year once again for the Belfast International Arts Festival. We'll be out and about at various events that are happening throughout this year's festival, and right now we're going to take a look at some of our highlights of this year. So Jane, let's start with you. What are you most looking forward to then?
Okay, well, I thought it's quite interesting. There are one or two little themes this year. And because Richard Wakely, the director, is leaving, I think that endings are a slight theme. It's elegiac. And we've got denouement, of course, at the Lyric. And this is a play that's about nothing short of the end of the world, really. So a big ending. And it's got two characters. It's got Paddy O'Kane in it, and I would queue up to see anything he was in, to be perfectly honest, as half of the couple who are facing the end of everything, and they make contact with their family, they bicker, they're emotional, they wonder what's coming next, what does the end actually mean. This was an audio play during lockdown, and it had Mary Jones and Ian McElhinney in it actually, and it was very, very good. I'm wondering how they will have tweaked it and how it will work on the stage, because actually it worked very well on the radio. Another one that is to do with maybe not endings, but middle up, is The Rest of Our Lives. And this looks quite interesting. It's got a dancer and a clown performer, Joe Fong and George Orange. And they're looking at literally what you do when you reach middle age or late middle age, and you think, what next? And that's what they do. And they bring some raffle tickets, they bring some glitter, they bring questions, and I hope they bring a few answers. I should be taking notes.
So The Rest of Our Lives, that's happening on the 8th of November at the MAC, and of course denouement is taking place at the Lyric Theatre throughout the whole run of this year's festival. You did mention Ian McElhinney there, of course, being in the radio version of that play, and of course Ian is also on the production team of the world premiere of Ottilie, which is written by Richard Clements. It's essentially a one-woman show. Jolene O'Hara, she's taken on the role of Ottilie Patterson, and Ian's son Matthew McElhinney, who has to be one of the country's busiest directors. He's just come off Dear Arabella, straight into Ottilie as well. But this is a story that I think needs to be told. It's a performer from Northern Ireland, a performer from Cumber to be exact, that it's like we've just discovered her in the last couple of years. I think ever since Joanna Braniff wrote a book about her. And we've discovered this fabulous performer, who of course was married to the jazz legend Chris Barber. She was in the Chris Barber jazz band as well. So this is a fabulous performer from Northern Ireland who's been forgotten about, but who should really be celebrated within the likes of Ruby Murray and people like that.
I was just thinking of Ruby Murray, actually. Yes, she should be, and she will be. And Richard Clements is an actor as well, but I think as an actor, he's a brilliant writer, really, and I think this will do very well. There are a lot of plays on at the MAC. There's the Upside Down House, and that's going to be beautiful. That's the story of a gay first relationship between these two young men, and it takes place. The memories go back to one of them, his grandma's house, which was an upside down house. It had its sitting room on the first floor, and in a way, it's talking about upside downness in one's life and looking backwards and thinking, which way should one live it? You only understand things backwards anyhow. And I think that's going to be very touching and very moving.
The Upside Down House, that's Tinderbox, who's putting on that production. That's running at the MAC. And Sean Blaney, who a lot of people have seen recently in The Name of the Sun, playing the part of Jerry Conlon, he's starring in that one as well. So let's take a look at some music highlights now, and I always love discovering new artists, and one that I just discovered this afternoon is a female group called the Deep Blue. Now, they're playing their debut Belfast gig at Deer's Head on Sunday the 26th of October, and these guys have already been on tour with the likes of the Waterboys. They're really, really good songwriters as well, so I'm going to play a little clip now because I've just discovered them. So here are the Deep Blue.
Turn the radio down, turn the TV off. Feeling comfort in a quiet way. I don't wanna know what no they're gonna say. Filling up with words and reasons, but we're choking on nice. Shed my skin, leave it at the door.
So I think they sound absolutely amazing. So I'm looking forward to seeing the Deep Blue at the Deer's Head on the 26th of October. Let's see what else I've picked out as my highlights. Now, when we went to the launch of the festival recently, we were treated to a fabulous performance by Martin Hayes. And of course, he's one of the best fiddlers, I think, in recent years. So he's returning to the festival for a very special night at the Grand Opera House on the 22nd of October. And he's going to be joined by Mary Dillon, who's a fabulous vocalist. She's also the sister of Cara Dillon. A lot of people remember Mary for singing in the band Janta down through the years as well. So Mary's going to be on stage, Neil Martin and Donal O'Connor as well. So that's one not to be missed at the Grand Opera House on the 22nd of October. And also, Jane, at the launch day, we were treated to a fabulous performance by the Ulster Orchestra, weren't we?
We certainly were. And the Ulster Orchestra sound is absolutely remarkable. And they are playing a gig called, or a concert called Distant Shores. And that's going to be, there's a new co-commission there from Michael Gallen called Badan Altar, which I've completely mispronounced, which of course is in Irish. If you like classical music, and I do, I'm a Radio 3 addict actually. There's Camerata Ireland, and they are on the 25th of October at the Great Hall at Queen's. Barry Douglas has created this marvelous outfit. He'll be playing the piano himself, and he's one of our most romantic and expressive pianists. He'll be playing a couple of Mozart sonatas, which is something to look out for. And this isn't just about endings, this festival, it's about beginnings. There's another new commission here by Greg Caffrey. It's called Environments 4, and whether it's to do with the environment or not, we will find out. That's a topical reference, possibly.
Okay, now something else I just want to mention quickly as well is a Big Telly Theatre Company. They're always worth going to see at the festival. And I was thinking back to the first time that I ever saw a Big Telly production. Now this is back in the 1990s. It was during festival back then, and they put on the most amazing production of Stephen Burkhoff's version of Metamorphosis. And I remember being blown away by that show as a young actor back in the 1990s, and I've been a fan of Big Telly's work ever since. The latest show is called Faustish, and that runs at the Lyric from the 29th of October until the 9th of November. Great cast in there as well, including Joe Donnelly. And this has been described as a horror-fueled fever dream. It's a savage, strange, and a darkly thrilling story. Delicious shivers and tactical shares abound in this tale that becoming a distraction, falling from grace, and striking a desperate deal in the dead of the night. Sounds like dark and scary stuff, this.
It does sound like scary stuff. And actually, Marlowe's Dr. Faustus is a very scary play. So anything based on that will give you a shiver up the spine. And Zoe Seaton, who of course is the founder of Big Telly, is an absolute genius. I noticed in the talks section of the festival, there's something very tempting, which is Colin Davidson, the artist, and also Chancellor now of Ulster University, talking to Mark Crothers, who for my money is a very, very good interviewer. Colin Davidson is fascinating. He's done everybody from the Queen to Mary Jones to Kieran Hines. I mean, you name them, he's painted them. And his style, I interviewed him once actually, the oversized portrait, if you like, started when he painted his first version in that genre, Duke Special, and he wondered how to convey the star quality of Peter, and he thought, I'll make him larger than life, because that's what rock stars are. And he started doing these larger portraits, and it took off from there, actually. So that, I think that would be very interesting.
Definitely. Now, if you want something a little bit different, I've just noticed Anchored in the Air, which takes place at C.S. Lewis Square on the 18th of October. And this is a thrilling journey into a world of flying wheelchairs and gravity-defying acrobatics as well. So lots of circus and dance, music, spoken text, and flying wheelchairs. I got to go and see this.
We've got to go and see this. There's also Christine Beauville is putting on an evening dedicated to Piaf, and that's going to be on the 17th of October. And I think anybody who has no regrets and wants to find out about the greatest songstress there ever was, or one of them, sorry, Ottilie, also, should go along to that.
Definitely. Now, if you want a great Sunday afternoon out, the Arts Across Belfast bus tour is back from our good friend Dolores Vischer at Creative Tours Belfast. And if you want to learn more about arts and parts across the city, the things that you didn't know about, then get on that bus tour. We've done it, and the next one's happening on the 19th of October. There's a walking tour as well that I think is going to be quite interesting, the Oscar Wilde walking tour. And this is taking place from the 19th of October through until the 9th of November. And the story begins with Oscar Wilde when he was lecturing in Belfast. It'll tell you the story of the places where he stayed, near the Queen's College as well. And it'll tell you about his life in Belfast, which I didn't know about.
Dust off your green carnations and head along.
Indeed. Right, Jane, one more from you. Is there anything else you want to give a plug to?
Maybe something interesting here called Hula. This is set in the industrial heart of Daegu, Korea, and it transforms the discarded into the divine with instruments made out of PVC pipes and paper cans and paint cans and shampoo bottles. Well, I think we all need to see about that. That's on the 4th of November at the MAC, so take your shampoo bottles along.
One more from me as well. We had a conversation the other night that we couldn't find anything in the programme from Cahoots. But there's Unlocking Sherlock, which is a joint production with Keelan McBride and Cahoots, where you're going to be able to step into the mind of Sherlock Holmes. So they're bringing this master magician, Keelan McBride. He's going to be revealing the striking connections between deduction and deception. Okay, so that sounds quite interesting. So that's running at the Cityside Retail and Leisure Park, or Yorkgate as most people know it as, and that's running from the 30th of October through until the 2nd of November. So that sounds good.
Cahoots and I are always worth watching, and that's actually their alma mater. That's where they usually perform, which brings arts very much to the people, very accessible.
Exactly. So experience Sherlock Holmes like never before, it says here. We've got lots to tell you about, and we'll keep you updated throughout the festival. And of course, if you want to check out the full programme, Belfast International Arts Festival.com will give you all of the details. And we'll see you in the stalls during the festival. We'll talk to you soon.
Goodbye.